Sabah al-khair, everybody. Mo Davis, the Tribeless Outsider. Morning drive to work thoughts. I wanted to talk specifically about Canada's Khara contribution to the trade that we are doing through sales to the Blue Star Nation. Specifically, the things we are selling and donating that go boom, and the bullheads. The bullheads that snipers are using time and time again to mass unalive civilians like they are fish in a barrel. These are human beings, and we are treating them like fish in a barrel. Well aware that this angle of my face is not the greatest. I don't really care. I'm driving, so wherever my phone lays is where it's going to be. I can't comprehend the amount of inhumanity someone has to feel to say, well, we're just selling the product to them. We're not making them use it. Canada has extremely conservative regulations in terms of the sales and consumption of goods. The same applies for the United States. Some things in the United States are more difficult to obtain, and some things are more difficult to obtain in Canada. When we're talking specifically about bullheads and booms, you'd think that the sales should be regulated, should be controlled. You know, kind of like substances. Kind of like bullheads and pew-pews in Canada, a bit less in the United States. That if we were to sell them, we would be responsible for who it is we are selling it to. When I speak specifically about Canada, I'm referring to the fact that, for example, we do not sell tobacco products to children. We do not sell alcohol products to children. Driver licenses are heavily regulated. Bullheads and weapons are heavily regulated. Hell, scratch and win lottery tickets are heavily regulated in terms of who can go in and purchase those items. And if someone goes in and purchases those items on behalf of a child, they are often subject to consequences. And please feel free to go double time. It's the morning. I tend to speak much slower in the mornings. Knowing all of this, when we look at who has the power of veto in the UN, when we look at countries who have been sanctioned, who have had trade embargoes on them, none happen to reach the level of violent behavior that the Blue Star Nation has ever demonstrated. Not a single one. The level of inhumanity that the Blue Star Nation has demonstrated on the regular for more than 75 years is appalling, and if it was done by any other country, would not be tolerated. So somebody please explain to me why you, in your right mind, can continue to justify the unregulated, unconditional sale of pew-pews and kabooms and bullheads. Because if we are to apply the same logic that we would to all controlled goods, if we were to apply the same logic we apply to the countries with whom we have sanctions and trade sanctions, none of this makes fucking sense. And if you are making your excuses, that is one hell of a demonstration of your YT soupism, your Western global South soupism, and you cannot be trusted by anybody. Sit in that discomfort.